Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES television.
The American Italian Cultural Center and Museum on South Peters in New Orleans offers event venue space, Italian language classes, dual citizenship and translation services, seminars, genealogy, and trips to Italy. Ciao, AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy. Good to see you. Making her Steppin Out debut, Claudia Chabetai.
Hi, everybody.
Co-host and producer, yes, indeed, of the local Hispanic cultural radio show, Suplemento, on Tropical 105.7 FM. Welcome, Claudia. Great to see you. And he's back, John Kemp. We're so glad to have him back. Art columnist for Louisiana Life magazine, Acadiana profile, the list is long, but a part of our Steppin Out family from the very beginning. It's great to see you again. Hello, my dear. And Alan Smason, he's back. He's been away for a while, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Welcome back, kiddo.
Glad to be back.
Poppy, time for the beignet fest.
It's just festival time. And, you know, I was planning on talking next week about the Fried Chicken Fest, but we're not going to be here. So don't forget next weekend, Fried Chicken Fest. But we're kicking it off with the Beignet Fest this Saturday. And the Beignet Fest, relatively new festival, it's a nonprofit that's benefiting local autism programs. So it's all for a good cause. It's at the City Park Festival grounds, Saturday only from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's over 50 different choices of beignets to have. Now,
Amazing.
That's the one I can't wait to have. That's from Old School Eats, and it's a blackberry cloud beignet with port wine and whipped goat cheese. I want to eat that. And so you can still get advance sale tickets. They're $20. Day of the event, tickets are $25, but all goes to a good cause. Now, Peggy, nowadays, there's so much happening in the restaurant business. New restaurants, great stories. It's all really happy, positive news for New Orleans, which makes me so happy. And we got lots of that this week from Mamou. And of course, that is that exquisite little French brasserie where Mo Bar used to be, right there on North Rampart. And of course, this is, well, there was one of the awards. This is the October issue of Bon Appetit magazine.
Wow.
They named Mamou one of America's 24 best new restaurants. And of course, that is Chef Tom Brannigan and his partner, sommelier Molly Wismeyer. If you haven't been, well, you better get on the phone and make a reservation, because yesterday, the New York Times included Mamou on the list of 50 places they are most excited to dine in.
Ooh.
So New Orleans got that big national nod twice this week, thanks, of course, to our friends at Mamou. And the reason it's so perfect, such an exquisite French brasserie, well, the chef, Tom, he worked for David Bouley, who taught him Joël Robuchon's secrets. Danielle Ballou he worked under. Molly, for a long time, was with Charlie Trotter. So if you're a foodie, you know those big names. And that's what is making Mamou, helping make it so very special. So, more good news for New Orleans is that Monday dinner is happening again. You know, it's sort of been a wasteland on Mondays, and I want to let everybody know that they can eat my favorite barbecued shrimp, well, one of them, Mr. B's on Mondays. They just started serving again, Monday night dinner. And then this news just came out earlier today, but Saba, Elan Shaya's place, is also open on Mondays now. And next Monday, the 25th, is Yom Kippur, and you can go and break your fast with some duck matzo ball soup and something other delicious, salmon malawak. Well, speaking of deliciousness, fettuccine frenzy. It's that time again at Middendorf's. Of course, it's both restaurants, Man Shack and Slidell, happening Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday through the end of September. You can also buy those freshly made fettuccine noodles. That's Horst Pfeiffer, who's doing the amazing work, and many of us remember Bella Luna. And then one more serious foodie alert, okay? And that is, if you're a serious foodie, you know about Momofuku. And Chef Ty Strain, who was the former executive chef at Momofuku, is popping up at Mr. Mao for one night only. Wow. It's a 4-course, super exciting menu that includes red snapper, Cornish hens, things done in ways you've never had before. So please don't miss this opportunity. 2 seatings, 6 and 8 p.m.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. And moving over to Claudia, and once again, welcome to our show. And you and your husband have a radio show. We've got a picture of you all together in the studio. For how many years?
20 years, Peggy.
20 years.
20 years on the air. We only stopped after Katrina because the building was closed on Lake Avenue for 3 months. But then we've been an ongoing show.
So you and Raphael.
Raphael is my husband.
Yes.
He's the director and the anchor, and I'm his co-anchor and producer.
There y'all are. Yeah, 105.7. Now, you do it in Spanish.
We do it in Spanish for our growing population. And we also invite people that want to learn Spanish to listen to us because it's important. You hear a different Spanish because we are from Argentina. We speak Castilian. It's a Spanish. It's the same with a different accent.
All right. So you have a lot to tell us about.
Oh, yes, a lot. A lot. I mean, so much to say today that I can't wait, Peggy. And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So we'll kick off with Fiesta Latina.
Fiesta Latina is this weekend, September 22nd. It's at the George Wine Heritage Center, and it's on 1225 North Rampart in New Orleans. So you can see it on the screen. And doors open at 6 o'clock, and it's going to happen the same on the 23rd on Sunday. So if you have time to go, I'm sorry, I said Saturday. It's Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. So they will have a presentation of music with the sponsorship of the New Orleans Just and Heritage Foundation, and also will be aired on WWOC.
You've got all these great bands that are be doing these live.
All live. You can go to the place and see it in person, enjoy the music live, which I think is the best way to enjoy music.
Yes, and so that's the first night. That's Friday night. Here we go, Los Guiros and La Tranque.
Well, you can see Los Guiros, La Tranque Band, and that's on Friday. And on Saturday, you have Fermin Ceballos. He's a Dominican Republic musician that lives here, and his group Merengue 4-4, that a lot of people know about them. And then also you'll have later on that day Rumba Buena.
All right.
So if you like to dance, please go there because it's the best.
And on to the Audubon Zoo.
Oh my goodness, Audubon Zoo having a great Latin American culture in the spotlight at Audubon. The good thing is that you can go to the zoo and also enjoy the Fiesta Latina. Bring your chairs, bring all the kids with you and enjoy the dance.
And empanadas and
So much food there, empanadas, tacos, arepas, and who knows what else.
I love it. And then you've got a chalk painting contest over at City Park, huh?
This is a chalk painting that is going to be very interesting. They did it last year for the first time. This is the second year in a row that the New Orleans Hispanic Heritage Foundation, the Cultural Committee, is presenting that with 12 schools from our area. Private and public schools are participating. The kids love it. And each school represents one Latin American country. This is to honor our Heritage Month.
All right. And then moving over to Lafreniere Park.
Wow. And if you are ready to dance and you are ready to eat, then go again on Saturday, October 7th and Sunday, October 8th to Lafreniere Park. We interviewed Javier and Brenda, both the organizers of the Que Pasa Fest. And I know there is going to be so much fun from 11 in the morning until 9 p.m. both days. So be ready.
Great. And if somebody wants to send you information about the upcoming event, you have an email address too, huh?
Yes. You mean in Que Pasa?
Suplemento?
Oh, Suplemento, yes. You can see it there. Suplemento830@hotmail.com.
Very good. Thank you so much. That was a lot to cover.
Oh my goodness, it's a lot. I'm missing the one on the 11th too, but maybe I don't even
Maybe a
have
little
enough
bit later
time.
we'll
Yes,
do that.
Thank
Okay.
you.
John, we're so glad that you were with us, and this time the Gulf Coast, Mississippi.
Yeah, that's recovered quite well from Hurricane Katrina, and especially in the visual arts. We have active art communities in Bay St. Louis, Pass Christian, Biloxi, and Ocean Springs. And that in part is due to 3 expat New Orleanians that have moved over there and brought a bit of Julia Street in the art district to the Gulf Coast. The first 2, Mitchell Godet, he's a husband and wife artist team. Mitchell Godet and his wife's Erica Larkin Godet. They've opened this really wonderful gallery in Waveland. It's called Studio Waveland and Gallery. This gallery, it's huge. You can stand up anywhere in New Orleans, Julia Street, anywhere else. It's magnificent. And they do group shows. And opening this Saturday is another one of their group shows. It's called Black Light and White Linen, kind of like White Linen Night on Julia Street. But it's very confined to the little bitty section of Coleman Avenue around the museum. And it's featuring 1819 artists from New Orleans and the Gulf Coast area. So it's, and you know, they're coming from all over the North Shore, all of New Orleans to the Gulf Coast, and they do this really well. These are, first of all, they keep their studios their studios there at the gallery. They do their ironwork and their glass work, but they bring in a real interesting assortment of artists from all over the region and have really wonderful shows, and they do it as often as they can. So I really suggest seeing that. And let's see. The other expat, a little farther on down the coast to the east.
Okay, but we are getting to see you, giving us a little bit of a sneak preview of some of the wonderful artwork at Studio Waveland. There we go. Love that. Woo, very, very contemporary, huh?
Don't drink when you look at that one. You
But I
may
like
not make
the
it
black
home.
light and white linen.
Black light and white-
black
well,
light and white linen
white linen.
installation.
Right,
And that opens this weekend. Yeah.
Open Saturday, actually,
Yeah,
4
very
o'clock, and they're going to have the food trucks and the white linen and the whole thing walking around. As mentioned, the third expat living down the coast in Biloxi. Remember David Houston was at the
Yes,
Ogden for many years,
I
the
did.
curator there? Well, he's now the director of the O'Keeffe Museum of Art. And this is that wonderful museum that right there on Highway 90 and with all the little pods and everything that Frank Gehry designed.
Wow.
And he's really, David has really raised the museum to another level with
Look at
changing
that.
shows. You know, the museum primarily is based on the Mad Potter of Biloxi and his wonderful
George Orr, yes.
It's built around that, but they have changing shows, and they have them pretty regularly. And so David is bringing in some really, really good things. The show that's currently there is dealing with, well, there's this Atlanta-based organization called South Art, and they have this national jurors, a committee of jurors that select an artist from each of the southern states. and they receive fellowships and grants and so forth. This is one from New Orleans, Claire Trosclair. She's the only one from Louisiana chosen. It says one artist from each of 9 Deep South states, including Virginia, and that show is up now. And so David is doing a really good job over there and raising the level of the shows they have, bringing in people like this. And he's had a lot of New Orleans artists over there too showing. So he's, the Go Days as well as David, that's sort of like the old Don Marshall and the CAC.
Yes.
Let's do a show, and he'd bring in all these
God
wonderful,
bless them
they've got
for
this
doing
great
that.
network of
We can
artists they
do
bring
it.
in.
Yeah.
So definitely see this one there while you're over there on the coast. And I really wanted to mention the Walter Anderson Museum too. And I would have shown where they were, but they're temporarily closed for renovations.
Oh, really?
So if you're in Ocean Springs, stop by and see it. It's not going to be long, maybe a week or two, but do stop by at the Walter Anderson, because they too, as well as the Walter Anderson art, they too have changing shows, and they're doing a good job too. So really bookending the coast with the Go Days and with the Walter Anderson Museum. They're doing some really nice things on the coast and in the artwork.
Great. Thank you for the overview.
You're quite welcome.
Alan.
Well, I'm back, and I have to tell you, for those looking forward to learning more about A Wonderful World, the Louis Armstrong musical, I had an opportunity to do a quick interview with James Monroe Iglehart, who will be playing Louis Armstrong at the Sanger Theater October 1st through the 8th. Believe it or not, he learned first about Louis Armstrong's impact on jazz from none other than PBS and Ken Burns' Jazz documentary. Let's see what he has to say about Louis Armstrong.
There's trumpet players before Louis and then trumpet players after Louis. He's the one that kind of changed the game. And to realize that, and then to see the barriers he broke down and how he was, used good and bad to, help America look a certain way. And then all the different things he went through with his own identity, his own race, and dealing with the larger race as a whole. He was really one of the big first pop artists, like what we consider a pop artist today. He was that. He was everywhere. He's on radio, TV, all kinds of posters. He was the pop star of his generation, and I didn't know that. And that part is what interests me. I was like, wow, that's a whole different thing than me being a young guy going, oh, that's an older guy who smiles and sings those 2 songs with a gruff voice. No, he was an incredible entertainer.
And to see the full interview, check out Monday night, 8 p.m., the NOLA Theater Talk Show, broadcast over the NOLA Theater Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, and my own YouTube channel. Again, another Tony Award winner on my show. I just had Beth Level a couple weeks ago and Katie Huffman about a year and a half ago, so I'm happy to add to that. Don't forget that tickets are still available for A Wonderful World and its initial pre-Broadway tryout before it goes to Chicago, just like Louis Armstrong came from New Orleans to Chicago to New York. That's what the show's going to do.
That's exactly right.
So
Good, yeah.
now, finishing up its run at the Lower Depths Theater is the pièce de résistance for the Tennessee Williams Theater Company of New Orleans, and that is Spring Storm. When they first started out, artistic directors Augustin Carrero and Nick Shackelford stated that the Tennessee Williams Theater Company would be presenting little seen or unknown works by the namesake of their company. And one of the best of their 7 seasons thus far was written in 1937 and 1938. Spring Storm was the second play written by Tennessee Williams, and it was done when he was a student at the University of Iowa. Never produced in his lifetime, and it is a shame because Salvatore Menino really directed a wonderful version. It tells the story of 2 couples, or more accurately, 4 individuals trying to become couples. Nicole Miller is Heavenly Critchfield, while Matthew Raith plays Dick Miles. Heavenly and Dick are in love, and more importantly, in a physical relationship. He's not considered a good catch, though, even though he professes his love for Heavenly. She has obvious feelings for him and also exhibits, of course, some dissatisfaction with the fact he has wanderlust. That's a character trait played by many of Williams's early characters. Meanwhile, Heavenly is pressured to court Arthur Shannon, played by Matthew Bose there on the left, a rich boy with issues of his own, including being bullied in the past by Dick and others. The 2 confront each other. And Hertha Nielsen is in love with him, Arthur, but he spurns her advances. Charlie Carr is an excellent actress, by the way, wonderful in her scenes with Arthur and throughout the work. The remaining cast includes Margot Fanning as Heavenly's mother, Mother, along with Tracy Collins, Maylee Zox, Delphine J., and Miles Hamawi in other supporting roles. If you're able to see it, not many seats are left. Spring Storm by Tennessee Williams. You do not want to miss this. And now, of course, Peggy, we have a new show that's just opened in West Wego, Robert Harling's Steel Magnolias. We remind you, Janet Shea is playing Weezer, and also Rachel Looney, who we know for her singing, a wonderful singer, is doing a straight role as Shelby. So we want everybody to go check that out. That's going to be at the West Wego Cultural Center in West Wego on Sala Avenue. Also, a reminder that La Nozze di Figaro, that's The Marriage of Figaro, probably one of the greatest operas that Mozart ever wrote, is coming to the Mahalia Jackson Theater next weekend. Now, we're not going to be here to promote it, so I'm doing it now. But here we see Anthony Reed as Figaro and Katie J. Bryan as Susanna. And in the roles of the Count and Countess Almaviva, we have Theo Hoffman and Lakita Mitchell. They should be great. Mahalia Jackson Theater, do not miss that as well. Again, Friday night, 7:30 p.m., and then Sunday at 2:30. The performance in the matinee. Lastly, we all remember, of course, B. Michael Howard, the former artistic director at Tulane University's Summer Lyric Theater. This Sunday, we all say goodbye to him at the scene of so many of his triumphs at University Dixon Hall. So check that out again. Once again, which I think Michael would always say, once again. So the memorial for B. Michael Howard, again, doors open at 1:45. Light refreshments will follow. But, of course, we have to say goodbye to a great, great force in theater.
All right, thank you so much, Alan. And now I will kick off the picks of the week. This weekend marks the 40th anniversary of the closing of Pontchartrain Beach. Isn't that something?
Oh, no.
Yeah, oh no. On Saturday at 5 p.m., WYES presents New Orleans That Was, a documentary which includes a look back at Pontchartrain and Lincoln Beaches. It's also repeated Wednesday at 2 p.m. on WYES TV, WYES.org. We stream WYES and PBS apps and anytime on WYES Passport. Go to our website for details on Passport. The Carden International Circus is in residence this weekend at the Pontchartrain Center. Go to spectacularcircus.com for information on that. On Saturday, pianist conductor Paul Moffray will perform the works of Bach, Scarlatti, and others on a Hubbard French double manual harpsichord, modeled after a Parisian harpsichord from 1769. This Baroque music concert will take place at 6 p.m. in the Episcopal Chapel of the Holy Comforter on Lakeshore Drive. That's right at Elysian Fields, right across from where Pontchartrain Beach used to be. A requested donation of $20 for adults, $10 for students. The Friends of the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra presents A Taste of the LPO on Sunday at 5 p.m. at Deutsches Haus. For your $40 contribution, you'll receive a flight of various beers and a soft pretzel and music by members of the horns section of the orchestra. LPOmusic.com for tickets. And WYES presents a Louisiana gubernatorial debate next Thursday at 7 p.m., which means that we'll see you in 2 weeks, October the 5th. More picks, Poppy.
Next Friday, the 29th, don't miss the Pomme Soufflé Soiree taking place at Arno's Restaurant in honor of National Pomme Soufflé Day. It's going to happen 11:30 to 1:30. It's going to be delicious fun.
Claudia.
My pick is the Stories and Sabores. So it's telling and also eating fabulous food from Sephardic Jews that went to Latin America during the Inquisition and after. So I invite everyone on October 11th between 6 and 8 p.m. It's going to be fabulous.
And is Anna Gershanik's involved?
Anna Gershanik is the chair of this committee, which I'm part of, the CJMA of the Goldgreen Family Foundation Center.
And she is going to be moderating, too.
She will be moderating, and we will have 5 or 6 people from different Latin American countries telling their stories on how it was growing up in Latin America and the stories they have behind each other.
What a great idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
fantastic.
Thank you. John.
Thank you.
Well, while you're in Bay St. Louis, and stop by the B Gallery. Remember Martin Laborde of New Orleans?
Yes, yes.
He's now a Bay St. Louis artist.
All right.
And he's showing his work at the B Gallery on Main Street with a number of other artists. And also down the street, further up the street on Main Street, is Gallery 220 and Clay Creations with 15 local artists and those wonderful clay facades you see all over the place of New Orleans architecture. That's great place to go. It's always fun.
Yes, and you know, they are amazing. Janice McCardle.
Janice, that's right.
She has been
She shows
around
up
for
everywhere.
a long time.
Yep.
And then she's been over there now a long time. But I remember
For
when she
years.
was in New Orleans,
Right,
too.
she used to show her work on the was it Lafayette Square too, when the festival was down there all the time.
And you know, she will do like a plaque of your house.
Exactly.
A plaque of the house,
Right.
you know, and affix it to canvas. And I have one of those.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I have. So she's wonderful. I'm a big fan.
You bring her a photograph and she'll do it.
She'll do it.
Absolutely.
It's really great.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Alan.
I want to remind everybody, Rivertown is finishing up their run of Singing in the Rain. I'll have my review on theatercriticism.com this weekend. But more importantly, the 2023 Concert Against Hate. This used to be the A.I. Botnick Torch of Liberty Award that the Anti-Defamation League would give out. Well, they're going to actually be combining it with the Concert Against Hate this year, honoring President of Tulane, Michael Fitz, and Judge Robin Geruso, along with honoring Big Frida and one other member of the community locally. But when you think about ADL and the Concert Against Hate, who better than Big Frida? Again, the Orpheum Theater. That'll be on October the 4th, Wednesday night, and I'll see you at the theater.
Thank you. And just a few more picks since we're going to be gone for 2 weeks. Looking ahead, Monday, October the 2nd, British pianist Danny Driver will perform Schumann and Chopin, among others, at Dixon Hall, kicking off the Friends of Music's new season of concerts. Students with a valid ID are free. On October 4th, the Yak Quartet, one of my favorites, along with pianist Andre Boren, celebrates Bachtoberfest with music by Bach, the Beatles, and more at 6 p.m. in the courtyard of the Margaret Place Hotel in the Lower Garden District. masno.org for tickets. And on Saturday, October the 7th, join us at WYES at 10:30 in the morning for Mimosas and Masterpiece, a sneak preview of the first episode of a new season of the series World on Fire, set during World War II. Go to wyes.org/events for tickets. The Opera Ball is back. This year's gala is also October 7th at the Higgins Hotel, and the theme is A Streetcar Named Desire. NewOrleansOpera.org for details. And don't forget the Big Easy Boys are this weekend at the New Orleans Jazz Market, BigEasyBoys.com for more information. Welcome once again to our show. Welcome back. It's been a while, Mr. Kemp. Thank you all. Welcome from the Galapagos Islands. And always great to see Miss Poppy. But thank you for watching. Good night.
Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES Television.
The American Italian Cultural Center and Museum on South Peters in New Orleans offers event venue space, Italian language classes, dual citizenship and translation services, seminars, genealogy, and trips to Italy. Ciao! AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.